What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Asia session stream. I hope you guys are doing great. I am doing absolutely amazing. Let me fix this right here so you guys have the best angle, of me. All right. Yeah, today I ended up taking one trade, one win um, on my funded accounts. I took an L though on the eval on the longs. I ended up losing like 1,000 on the eval, and then ended up making around 350 on my funded accounts. So I'm only 1 day away from requesting around $11,000 in payouts. So I'm gonna take it slow. I just need one more day. Hopefully, it will be easy for me, and hopefully the market is not gonna be in a losing streak mode. But here we have the open currently, and let's see how this daily candle is closing. It is closing very strong and bearish. And at this point, guys, this is just a short for me. This is an easy short for me. I would want to see us potentially getting an entry here at around like the, let's say, 670s. I don't think we're gonna open up higher. We might. If we do open up higher, it will be the best play possible. I would just love that short. I would say if I take a look at the hourly structure here, a very good shift in market structure, very good fair value gap here aligned with this order block. I would want us to respect that gap, generate new lows into the unfilled here. Perfect distribution for me. It is probably one of the cleanest setups I've seen on the daily in a very, very long time. So I would say I'm only looking for shorts. I think the sellers were the one controlling, are still the one controlling the market currently with how that daily bar is closing. We have an unfilled gap right below us. For me, Thursday's candle on the daily chart has way more chances of printing to the downside and closing bearish within that gap and actually going to see that high. So 76, continuing that uptrend without at least going into this gap, and 63. So for me, this is how I frame it on the daily. Then if I scale down to the hourly, for me, I judge that this structure here has a lot of weight to see some downside. We'll see how deep we can go within this range. Of course, you guys know that if we get too aggressive above that level and the daily opening price is just we're not able to flip and we're just printing to the upside without seeing any sellers stepping in, I will definitely look for some upside tomorrow. So yeah, a lot of things that can happen today, but for me, we can set up like the plays that I'm thinking that will potentially happen. Let me just read the chat here. Yo, what's up? Yeah, market structure doesn't apply when you have Donald Trump as the president. I like that. I like that take. I definitely like that take. Yeah, I'm drinking a coffee again, guys. It's my third. I actually need to stop that. That's kind of that's a bad habit. Third coffee on the day. Damn. I have to stop that. All right. So let's mark out like all the scenarios we can potentially see for tomorrow, because I think you guys like to see how I anticipate stuff to happen on the overnight session. I know there's a lot of people that trade the overnight session, especially London. So let's see here. First thing, look at this daily chart. For me, it's pretty obvious. Reversal candle. For me, the next candle has a lot of chances of closing bearish, okay, within that gap. So then a lot of things can happen. So if I scale down to the hourly, which is the according time frame to look for entries, if you have a daily framework, then for me, I would want to see us starting to accumulate below that daily low during the Asia session, okay? Then potentially seeing the London session printing to the upside and displacing above the daily candle's opening price to trap buyers into thinking that price will go back all the way to that previous daily high. But unfortunately, there is so many sellers within the previous day that are going to be stacked here, ready to defend their positions, that we are going to find a seller within that range and make this daily candle reflip back below its opening price. That is most likely what I'm seeing happening, or the best case scenario. So this would be Asia, this would be London, and then two things that can happen. It's either we open up during the New York session and we open up around here, and then the New York session volatility makes us go down towards that Asia low and use it as stops in order to run even lower and continue that downtrend to then close bearish on the day. Okay, you can see that happening. Or we are already below that Asia low during the New York session open, and then we look at an hourly gap to see if we can potentially hold it to then see new lows and see that distribution. So if I am taking that into account, Asia, London, New York session, then this would be AMD. Okay, so accumulation here, manipulation to the upside on the London session, then distribution during the New York session. What else can happen? We can have Asia chopping, London chopping here also in the middle of the range, and then New York session opens and we still did not go back towards the gap. New York will open, sweep the London high. At that moment, this is really the moment where I'll anticipate a short being able to form soon. As soon as we start displacing below the London low, I'll use it as structure in order to generate new lows and see us dump back within that daily fair value gap. Okay, so that would be A, so Asia, that would be the London, and that would be NY. Okay, again, AMD. I'm always seeing it in like 3 phases. There's 3 sessions. So accumulation, manipulation, distribution, Asia, London, New York session. Then what else can potentially happen? We could have a scenario where it's a complete sell-off, okay, back towards 50% of that range. So we have Asia selling off. London opens. We drive down again. So we have a pretty big overnight move, and then New York opens. We chop within the AM session. Then I would say like during the lunch hour, we sweep liquidity and then shift again below the London low, continue that downtrend and close. Asia, London, NY. Okay. Those are all the type of scenarios I could see happening within that next candle having more chance of closing bearish because of the context than bullish. There is a scenario where I could potentially see that bar. Like the only scenario where I would not anticipate shorts would be if Asia is so aggressive. Okay, so let's say like this would be like shorts. My long scenarios, which I will never take until I get past, I would say 940, that level right here. If I see Asia opening or sweeping the low, previous day low into that gap, then London opens, we're here, we're being very aggressive, and then New York, when New York opens, we're already past, I would say 70% of the previous candle's range, then that previous daily high is going to be pretty easy target in order to aim for. So like Asia would form the low of day. London would be respecting Asia high for a market structure shift, and then New York would expand. That is something that could happen, or even like seeing a full-on reversal from that next daily bar. Like we could see that next daily candle being a pin bar, sweeping the low and immediately coming back within the range. We could see that happening. But this is all, everything that I frame. Of course, the most important thing here is the opening price for me, is gauging whether, like, what are the chances of us actually breaking lows and rejecting highs, or the opposite. Any questions related to that? But this is pretty much everything that I see currently on the chart in terms of daily distributions, what can happen during the Asia, London, New York session. Remember yesterday what I said? I said I wanted to see the next daily candle close bullish, or I said from this closure, I am not going to predict that the next candle will be bearish, but I would say as soon as we sweep this internal high, this is the moment where I will not look for longs anymore, and I will look for a candle closure above the high for me to reframe buys again, which is exactly what happened. We swept that high, and then we started to be very, very aggressive below the opening price of that bar. And when you see that, it is a moment where you're like, okay, that candle has a lot of chance of closing bearish at around, I would say, like 1 p.m. We knew that the likelihood of us actually closing bearish on that bar was pretty damn high, which is also a pretty big reason for the sell-off during the power hour. So yeah, damn, the coffee's hitting right now again. Stop what? Oh, okay. He said like he's spamming. I don't even. I don't even want. I don't even want to tell them to stop. let's just get that over with, really. So let's take a look at like the scenario we saw yesterday. So yesterday we had a scenario where I was still expecting a bullish distribution, which we had in the first portion of the day. So if I take a look at that right here, my bias was bullish for the day, coming into the overnight session. Okay, this is the daily, how the daily candle closed, and for me there was a pretty big likelihood of us taking out the previous daily high, at least way more than the previous daily low. At that point, I would never aim for a reversal when we have such a strong candle closure. So here, my bias for the Asia session was bullish, okay, which ended up happening. You can see here, we ended up pushing. We took a long here within this range. Say like these sessions that we're seeing right now during the Asia are pretty lame. Okay, they're super small volume, not a lot of action, but we're still winning, but not the best action for sure. Then at around midnight, when this candle closed, we broke structure to the upside right here. I told you as soon as we would see a closure above 81, this is really the moment where I would be very, very interested in longs back towards the daily high, which is exactly, what ended up happening. We opened up higher during the London session and used it as fuel to drive up above that daily high. Target hit, and then at that moment is really where you are looking to see the setup for the next day. Okay, so at that moment right here, you would want to see us chop above that high and then potentially manipulate and then start distributing. And then during the New York session, you're expecting the same thing to happen. But then see what happened. We pulled back here very aggressively, held below that low, pushed back very aggressively, and then 9 a.m. candle opens, drives up very aggressively. Boom. At that moment, I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely expecting a distribution to the upside from that break. I was like, okay, there is a lot of buyers within the sprint. I am not letting go of the buys until we see that we are trading all the way here. Until we see that we're trading back towards 38, I am not gonna flip my bias, at least on the higher time frame. So then what ended up happening was complete capitulation. We flipped right back down, and at that moment, you could have taken a loss here. I would say like a very valid loss around like the 30,000s. If you took that loss here on the long, I mean, you know how to trade, in my opinion. That was like a very, very good long. Shout out Chart Dad. He said, if you're not doing so already, use code AMOS when you buy Tradeify accounts. Him. Thank you, Chart Dad. Appreciate you, my brother. Okay, I'm gonna put something on for that. But okay, so then my bias was flipped at that moment. I was like, okay, especially seeing how aggressive that candle is, the only thing that would potentially make me flip my bias is if we start displacing below the opening price here, form the down wick, and then have an up close candle, which ended up happening. We went down here, broke, and then closing back within the range. At that moment, I was very interested in long. I was like, okay, we just popped back below the opening price of that daily bar. We're most likely going to see at least a move back towards that gap. Ended up not happening. Inside bar candle, not going anywhere. Okay, ended up grabbing a short here when that hourly candle capitulated on here. Ended up grabbing a short once that 15-minute gap got invalidated, and just taking a piece of the pie here. And then the day ended up closing bearish after. You see how I view that candle fluctuating? So that's pretty much everything that ended up happening and how I saw the read. But I ended up giving up on the longs, really, like knowing that this daily candle would not close bullish at around 11 p.m. at 11 a.m. At 11 a.m. I was like, there's no way. See my question above. What was your question? Okay, Amos, going back from the first. Oof. Sorry for that. Damn. Okay. Do you expect Asia to chop again? You don't know. You never know. That's really up to the market. I can't make any predictions on that. Amos, on the daily chart, would you consider all of that space below where we are down to like 29,000, 29,200 a fair value gap? Or would it be considered that all those areas have been filled? So here, if I go on this daily, a gap, so a fair value gap is a 3 candle pattern where the up wick of the first candle doesn't touch the down wick of the third. Okay, so on the daily chart, I have a bullish fair value gap. What a lot of people will do is that they will long from this gap, predicting that price has more chances of seeing a buyer stepping in right at this gap to generate new highs, because we formed that aggression within the last 3 days. Okay, but for me, instead of doing that, I really like to trade back towards those gaps and treating those gaps as magnets, and something that attracts price before actually going up or finding a direction in the market. So then this gap here is, of course, a very, very strong bias of mine. Okay, the only thing is that we're very close to it, and I know that we can manipulate potentially to trap buyers before actually going back down to fill that gap. So then I need to be cautious about the timing. Even if I know there's a pretty big likelihood of us dumping here, it doesn't mean I just sail blindly, because this range is huge and the trade is valid until we start trading back here, you know? So like above 38. So for me, the bias is bearish until we fill this gap. Okay, I am looking to see that unfilled gap being filled on this daily chart, which is the main reason why I'm bearish. But I'm still anticipating the next candle to close bearish on the daily chart because of the overall context of the weekly candle being overextended. I would not see that weekly candle. I don't see that weekly candle being bigger than 2,000 handles. That wouldn't make sense. Like the biggest candle we've seen is 1,900 handles, or even that. We're already almost there, 1,800. So at that point, this is really the moment where I told you guys yesterday, I was like, the weekly already distributed in 2 days. In 2 days, we were already up 1.8 thousand points. In those kind of distributions, you are expecting a healthy pullback. You are expecting that the weekly candle is going to form its top wick, you know? So that's pretty much how I view it. So that, yes, there's a gap below us. There's a gap below us, which will act as my magnet. I need to find the right cues of timing in order for me to answer and take a good trade. But you know, this is just overall higher time frame analysis. It doesn't really mean anything for my lower time frame scalps. I can take a counter trend play easily within this range. But for me, we need to fill the gap below us on the daily. We need. That's my #1 priority. But I'm not going to mark this out like this, but yes, there's a gap below us, and I want to trade back into it. Isn't that change in a state of delivery not a break of structure? Those are the same words. Those are the same exact words. Like a break of structure. Listen, a break of structure is just when a candle breaks above the previous one or below. A break of structure is this: high, low, higher high. You just broke structure. Low, high, lower low. You just broke structure. That's a break of structure. But the like really where it starts to make a little bit more sense is when you have like a fake out of that break of structure. So like that, what is a break of structure? It's basically you anticipating that last move, that last down move before the break to the upside is going to be trap participants that are going to be ready to cover their positions to generate new highs. If those people clicked on sell but ended up being squeezed, then the only thing that they can do in order to leave their positions is click on buy, okay, which is going to attract price to the upside. This is how I think. So then really where it starts to be good is not when you have those breakup structures. It's when you have invalidation of those breakup structures, because you know there's not just the buyers that got faked, but the sellers also, and like everyone is trapped, which is the principle of a breaker: low, high, lower low, higher high. So that breakup structure should have held, but so, if we were truly bearish, we should have held this breakup structure to generate new lows. We're not. We're breaking structure to the upside. So usually we're gonna use this zone to generate new highs off of it, which is a breaker. So I use this if there's a gap above me in order to find if there's enough buyers on the lower time frames to generate new highs and enough trapped sellers for them to cover. But really where it gets interesting is when there's like double, triple fake outs. That's really what I trade most of the time. Maz, don't you think the slow grind up we had during that day reduces the significance of the gap below? The slow grind up? What do you mean? Slow grind up? Like that grind up? What do you mean exactly? Because that grind up was probably the most aggressive grind up I've seen in in a very, very long time. How much of that gap is expected to fill? Is it just the top, or is it 50% or some other percentage? We don't know. That's about it. We don't know how much. That's all up to risk management at that point, because you're in a prediction. It's a prediction. You're going to be predicting that price will dig below that internal low, which would be, you would already enter that gap, which could spike price back up. So it's very hard to say how much we're going to distribute until there's a true fake out. What do I mean by this? If we dig within this gap, that candle will look bearish. Okay, we'll dig into this gap. It will be bearish. Then until you really can locate where the high of day is going to be with time-based liquidity, so let's say here it would be Asia going down, and then London fluctuates back within the range here, that creates a shift in market structure, let's say on the hourly, which will be a great area, you know, to see if the high of day is going to be formed in that session, or if we're actually going to disregard the fact that we're going to go down below and tap 50% of that previous gap. If you're patient enough to not take the sells below that gap in predicting and wait for the buyers to stand up, potentially form high of day, and then once those buyers get disrespected and you know you're probably forming the top wick of a future bearish bar on the daily candle, and then you start selling here and have a wide stop here, then this is really the moment where you can let that candle distribute all the way to 50%. Before that, you know, knowing that it's going to distribute to 50% is just too much of a prediction. I can't really frame it that way. It's until you see like a bigger market participant being trapped on the higher time frame. I wouldn't expect us to go back towards 50%. It's just too much noise. You know? That's how I view it. So like I react. I can't predict how far it's gonna go. But I know that if it taps the gap and then bounces back up, this is exactly where I would expect the high of day to be formed. Exactly, because we tapped the gap, we went from a candle being bearish, trapping sellers, to then bullish, trapping buyers, to then bearish again. Okay, everyone is out of this market. Buyers are out, sellers are out. So sellers are out that were greedy here, buyers are out that were greedy here. Double squeeze, probably going to be the distribution of the day to see the close. You know what I mean? So until then, like if it starts flushing from here and then taps 50% of that gap, it was impossible for me to predict it. It's too hard. It's impossible. It is, but like it is possible with a wide, you know, your stop loss needs to be wide as shit, which I don't think most of you guys like. Nyamas, how do you use the fib tool to interpret where price wants to move? Since I see you use it sometimes. That I won't lie. I don't really want to talk about it. Moss, if this hourly candle closes bullish above this last bearish candle, you'll be taking it as a fake out, or do you wait for two bullish hourly candles? Good question. I think it's going to be hard to say, because I still think we can retrace deeper within this range, even if we have the gap below us. I still think like we could easily see 701 before going down, easily, but I don't know. So like, you're basically asking if we're closing strong here, would I expect the next bar to print to the upside? It's gonna be a very dangerous territory. It's very dangerous for me to long here, not gonna lie. Especially at 8 p.m. Even if we're bullish at 8 p.m., I don't think I'm gonna long because of the higher time frame context. Because we're playing off of a completely different level. Like we're playing off of the daily open, which is not the same thing as the 9:30 open. Thank you for the in-depth answer. No worries, my brother. Moss, what is your hair routine? Looking lush, brother. I'm telling you, I don't do anything on my hair. I just wash it once every 2 to 3 days, maybe, and shampoo, conditioner, and what is it? Cold water. if I don't wash on the day, I'm still taking a shower, but I put cold water on it without shampooing. I don't put shampoo on my hair every day. All right. Okay. Shit, I forgot. Damn. Okay. So, guys, we have my brother, Terrence. What's up, my brother? How are you doing?
Yo, yo, TTV. What up, what up? How we doing, Amos?
Doing great. What about you?
Man, blessing, bro. Blessing. Feeling good. How's the day been for
Yeah.
you, bro?
Amazing. I took one trade, ended up being a win, and made around $350 on 5 accounts. I can show you right there. I'll share my screen actually.
Yeah, I was watching your stream earlier. I saw one where you lost around
Yeah, I lost.
11:30.
Yeah, I
And then
lost
you
on the
came back.
eval. Yeah, clutched on the funded. It was
Ice in the veins, bro.
yeah. Let me show you my account balances right there. I just shared the screen, but we don't see like the executions from yesterday, but my account balance currently, I'm up $4,430 on 5 accounts. So tomorrow is my last trading day, last winning day that I need in order to request the payout. So hopefully it will go well. And yeah, I keep my risk pretty tight. Even if I lose or like 1, 2, 3 trades back to back, I'm not gonna lose a lot. I'm gonna lose like maybe 350. I aim for 250, but sometimes I get slipped in the right direction, so I'm not gonna say no to that.
For sure. That's not a bad problem to have, man. Speaking of like fortunate accidents, I had a big accident yesterday that went in my favor. So
No way.
oh man, yeah, like a $3,000 accident. That very easily could have gone the other way and blown my
On
account.
select accounts?
On a multiple. So some of them were lightnings, some of them were growths, and I think one is a select.
So yeah, lightning stinks though.
Lightning stinks, bro. Especially since I had to lose money for the profit target.
Oh, but you saw it. You saw it before the date when.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. If you didn't see it, you would have been cooked forever.
Oh my gosh, that's happened to me before. In fact, I'm still battling through an account, a 50K account that I've had for almost a year, just because of how high.
A year,
bro.
Now you're trolling.
Dead serious. I could show you guys too on stream. Last time I was on stream just by myself.
You had for a year.
Yep. I'll show you guys. But anyways, what happened was yesterday on the New York session or break. So yeah, let's go back here a little bit. So yesterday's or break, which is here on the New York session. Trying to zoom in here a little bit. So orb ended up closing right about 673. We had this 645 candle that closed at 650 above orb. So that right there initiated was confirmation enough right there for me to enter long. So I set a long order. I tried to go 35 micros, so 5 micros across 7 different accounts. And it turned out that I was on NQ, so I went 35 micros on each Lightning funded account that I had. Instantly, price shot up, $3,000 accident right in my pocket that I just closed out of immediately. So my trade was actually only 9 seconds long before catching a dub. So
not even 10.
Not even 10.
So you have the micro scalping rule.
I'm still good. I'm still good on the micro scalp.
Okay, you're so good. Okay.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. But that was so that was a crazy one from yesterday. In reference to today, I did take a trade. Let's go to today's New York session now. Sorry to be bouncing around, everybody. So I took one trade on the New York session. This kind of ranging and wicking and consolidation was pretty messy for me, which is another big reason why I adopted the 15-minute orb rules because it keeps me out of all of this stuff. In the past, I would try to chase somewhere here and ended up getting wicked out or something like that. So I waited for this candle closure here at 7:30. So the 7:25 5-minute candle closed at 7:30 here. Entered entered short here on this candle closure, especially since not only did we break below orb low here with this blue line, but we closed below the EMA in white and VWAP. So I had those as extra levels of resistance for my trade. I think previous day high was also right about where the body of this 725 candle was. So I set my stop loss up here. It was about 11 points and targeted 15 points. Price went all the way down to about, I think, 1.5 points from my take profit. And I had mentioned yesterday, Amos, once I'm 10 points in profit, I moved break even. So I was break even right here. And look what happened on that wick. Came up. Here, let me zoom in a little bit.
No way.
Price came up, wicked me out by about 2 ticks, 0.5 point, and then just went all the way down to my TP. Wow. So you live and you learn. Like I mentioned yesterday, I'm a risk mitigator is my job. So I really like to minimize my risk, which is why I moved my break even so quick. I don't feel bad about that. I'm confident that saved me from a lot of issues in the past. So, it didn't work out perfectly in this instance, but I'll take a break even day over what was a pretty messy day in the New York session. So
that sucks. That break even definitely sucks, man. Holy
man, yeah, it happens. I think what I need to start exploring is scaling. So maybe I was in 5 micros on this trade. What I probably should have done is set maybe 3 micros or something once I got to that 10-point level, and then left my original stop loss for the 2 micros. But I'm trying to, like I had mentioned, I'm trying to make my process as mechanical as possible. And so I try to limit.
Wait, so let me come back to the trade that you took.
Yep.
So I understand your strategy fully. So let's go back to that. So you trade the orb, okay, the first 15-minute bar.
Yep.
So then let's say here we have this 15-minute candle to my right. Okay, let's just try to see it. And once it closes, brand new candle will open, and you would want to see us either closing strong on the 5 above, and then if you have that, you enter market. And okay, let's just print it. Let's wait for it to print. Okay, here, let's say this 15-minute bar closes. Okay, so you mark out the high and the low, and if you break above and close on the 5, you're immediately entering market, targeting 10 points or 15 points.
Yep.
Yeah, 15 points. Okay. If you get stopped out on that, and that candle ended up, the next candle after this one closed above, ended up closing back within the range bearish, you then take the short, targeting the bottom of the range, which has like a 64% win rate. That's what you told me yesterday.
Yep, you're exactly right, except for 1 point, which is it doesn't have to be the exact second candle for that second break. So it could be,
it could be Okay, so it could be like it could start chopping, and then it could be like the 3rd or 4th candle after it.
Yep, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
Because sometimes it can wick.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so it could be 10 candles later. If it's that second orb break and that first candle has not gone all the way to 15 points, then just based on the back testing, which I have up here now, production, this year there's a 63% win rate. Oh, sorry, here, let me share the correct screen here. 63% win rate on that second orb if I haven't entered, or if I haven't won the first trade. So let me just share this here. Okay, should be up now. So what I have shown here is the 2026 stats from all of my back testing and just my trading in general. So I've taken a total of whatever the sum of this is. So 128 trades or something like that this year. I've won 84 of them. I've lost 44 for a 66% win rate, which we'll get to in a minute because I heard you talking about how win rate isn't super important to you, but I want to save that question for a little bit later.
Wait, so you were there this morning when I said that?
Yeah.
Damn.
I was listening.
That.
But yeah, so this you'll see here on the left. Let's go back to July actually, because it's a little bit easier since there's more data here. So on the first orb breaks, which are highlighted here, that happened 55% of the time where there was continuation all the way to 15 points, which is what you had picked up on just now when you were going over my strategy. 77% of the time on the second orb break. So on that first trade, if it doesn't go 15 points, usually what I'll do is I'll size up because there's a higher likelihood that the second trade is going to play out for 15 points or down to the opposite orb range.
So it's a higher risk reward play though. It's like 1 to 2.
It is. Oftentimes, depends on how large the orb range is. Yeah, but usually it's more than 15 points on the orb range. So, yeah.
Okay, so let's come back to my chart and let me try to understand why you took a short. Okay, and then I'll talk about something that I found and we can discuss. So here, never broke.
Oh, I lost you for a second. Uh-oh, did we lose a Moss chat? Oh, I think we lost him. The Canadian Wi-Fi is getting at us. Anyways, shout out the best chat of the day, the Asia session chat. I see some people calling out Matcha Poppy here. Thank you very much. Yes, Miriam's husband. Yonasan Perry, I see you in there. Shout out. Chart Dad. I feel like Chart Dad's always active in the Asia session. I love it. I see you in the earlier sessions too. But you said perhaps trailing. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're still good. Perhaps try trailing at your TP instead of just going for 15 points. Yes, that is something that I've been exploring, but I've had issues with greed. And again, the mechanical process of my trading strategy. So I want to be as mechanical as possible. And for me, I can, once I feel confident or have enough cushion in my accounts, I can size up and still target 15 points for a higher profit rather than targeting additional points and trying to catch a big move. So I don't want to be into the market for too long, because I feel like if you're in the market for too long, you risk losing or big swing moves and that sort of thing, which I'm trying to avoid. So 15 points is plenty for me. I can size up and kind of adapt there. Wait, is this the brother-in-law? I'm Miriam and I are married. So Miriam, aka the Curly Trader, is my wife. Yes. Zaro, yeah, Wi-Fi. It's that Canadian Wi-Fi, man. It's funds. But do you see trend direction, or do you only trade small moves? So I do track trend direction. There's a few people here who just jumped in, so I'll very briefly, high level, explain my strategy once again. So this was today's market. I trade off of orb candle closures outside of the range. So let's talk about what the definition minutes of the market. We're still here? Still good? Check. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, chat. I guess everybody's having a little bit of Wi-Fi issues. But okay, cool. Just checking production. We're good. Okay, sweet. So anyways, chat. Talking about orb. Let's just talk high level what orb is. So essentially, for the first few minutes of the market open, so in this case the New York session, buyers and sellers are essentially negotiating what the fair value is of the market price. So the opening range is essentially that battle, represents that battle. So what I'm waiting for is a candle closure outside of that 15-minute range, and what I'm hoping to happen after that is for institutional traders or market participants to be convinced that that's where the market is moving. So I'll enter on the candle closure in whatever direction candle closed. So in this case, candle closed at 779975 approximately. So I market order in. All of my trades are market orders. I set a stop loss. Let's see if I can remove all this stuff. I set a stop loss above levels of support and resistance. So in this case, I have EMA in white and then VWAP here in blue. And then during this day, I think there was the Asia high or the pre-market high. So I set my stop loss roughly 11 points up, something like that, around 810, let's say. And then I target 15 points. Upon being 10 points in profit, I move my trade to break even. And the reason for that is just because we are risk mitigators as traders. That's my opinion, at least. I think our job is to minimize risk. So I do my best to do that as much as possible. I also have the philosophy of trying to make my trading as mechanical as possible. I want to remove ambiguity and just be able to have a process that I can execute once. If X, then Y. So I don't have to think so much about it. It removes the stress from my trading and kind of takes the burden of psychology out of the trading. So 15-minute or orb or 30-minute. So I go off of the 15-minute. For me, I think that's enough time for the bears and the bulls to kind of negotiate, and for whatever price actions that's responding from overnight news or earnings or this, that, and the third to kind of settle. Some people use the 30-minute. That didn't work for my work schedule. Was the main driver. So 15-minute orb was perfect for me, but 30-minute, 1 hour IB are plenty good as well. You only trade orb New York session. So I trade the Asia session as well, of course, which is why I'm here. So something that we've been discussing, Amos and I, is finding a successful strategy. So I kind of have an experiment that we're running with you guys on that, which we'll get to in a second, which is relevant to my Asia trading. Is it true Miriam used to change? Oh man, yeah, y'all are tripping. Y'all are having too much fun with Amos in his age. Are you using a 9 EMA? Any reason for 9, or what about 20? So yes, I do use the 9 EMA, but it's not so much, it's not so much a level for me, support and resistance. It's more so just an indicator of the trend. So the 9 EMA is a function of, what is it? Price and time. So depending on the chart you're looking at, whether it's the 5-minute, 15-minute, the 1 hour, that white line changes, which I don't like. That sort of, again, that ambiguity when it comes to using levels on my charts. So I do use VWAP because that's a function of volume and price. So because of that line stays constant. So I'm much more comfortable with using that line as support resistance rather than EMA. So EMA just tracks the trend. Where is Amos? So Amos is having Wi-Fi issues, I guess, but he'll be back any minute. I'm sure probably had to go reset the modem or something like that. Which sessions have I back tested on? So everything I do is on the so I started trading with ES because it's much slower than NQ. It's not quite as volatile, which I like. I know some people don't. I like that it's not quite as volatile, and it seems to respect the levels a little bit better, in my opinion. Respects levels really well, which is why I like ES. Um, do you enter on the 5-minute or the 1-minute? So I enter on the 5-minute. So I'm tracking the 15-minute orb on the 5-minute chart, and I enter on the 5-minute candle closure. This closure here, for example, on the 7:25 candle that closed at 7:30, the 5-minute candle gives me enough confirmation that we're having an actual break of the orb. I don't do the 1-minute because it just wasn't enough confirmation for me in order to see follow through, to expect follow through. He's doing push-ups. Yeah. What is your stop loss during New York Open? My stop loss is a function of other points of interest, basically. So key levels, for example, previous day high. There's none showing now because we're in Asia, obviously. Okay, yeah. Let's go over here. So for some reason they aren't labeled, but this is pre-market low, pre-market high, and this is yesterday's low. So oftentimes those, in addition to VWAP and even point of control, which you can see here in purple as I zoom in, I use point of control, so that's volume based, as one of my support and resistance levels as well. So I use multiple of those different levels in order to set my stop loss, but I target 15 points in profit. I will not enter a trade if that stop loss is further than 15 points from my entry. So if it's any less than a 1-to-1 risk reward trade, I won't enter. Shared that Mama trades a few days ago. He shared that Miriam got him into trading. It's true. Yeah. My wife got me into trading. Miriam got me into trading. She had been trying to do it for months, and I was not having it. It's what everybody thinks, right? When you tell non-traders that you're a trader, oh, it's gambling. It's, for degenerates. It's not sustainable, that sort of thing. But after I finished, so I played football in college, and then I had a cup of coffee playing in the pros, I guess you could say. And ever since football ended, I was trying to find that next thing, and I was having a hard time with it, to be honest. Nothing really seemed to resonate. I tried, businesses. My background's mechanical engineering, so I got into an engineering career field and whatnot, and those things are all great, but it just didn't scratch the same itch as football until I got into trading. Ever since then, the discipline, the consistency, the back testing required, the ability to take a hit and keep moving forward and progressing as a trader is really what resonated with me, and now I'm just addicted. I absolutely love trading. That's so typical for his Canadian Wi-Fi. Yeah, agreed. Let's see. What about the reversal to the opposite side of orb when you take it on stop loss on first trade? So same sort of concept. So let's just say, I have an example. Yeah, but it's the same sort of concept. So the reason why I trust entering the trade on the second orb break is because of the back testing. That's another reason why I like to do mechanical back testing instead of putting it into an algorithm or a bot or an AI or something like that, because I can pick up on other patterns that I might not have recognized if I just said, ChatGPT, show me this. So I was able to chart how many times there was follow through the whole orb range on the second orb break, and it was really high percentage. So that's why I trust that move enough. Yo, Terrence, Nev, what up? Thanks for joining the stream, brother. I'm glad you listened to her. Yep, always listen to your wife, guys. Let me give you a little bit of insight here. Just always listen to your wife, and your life will be much easier. Do you think orb works for Asia session? Great question. That's exactly what we're going to be evaluating, and I'll show you that once Amos gets back, what I mean by that, because we're kind of doing an active experiment, to monitor that and track that. Roman played in college, was hard to understand. Effort doesn't result in better results directly. Oh, yes. Okay, so that is a big one. That's a big differentiator between sports or being an athlete in trading. So in football, in sports, really, you're rewarded for how much effort you put into it, right? And I think that's a generality for life, personally. But you know, you grind, you do these workouts, you do this, that, and the third, and just continue doing those things. And the more effort you put into it, more than likely, the more successful you'll be. In trading, oftentimes that's not 100% the case. In terms of actually trading, like you can't trade all day, especially as a new trader, and expect for there to be success. I do think that you can put in the time to backtest and other things that are not necessarily directly correlated to actively trading. But yeah, that was a big learning adjustment that I had to make from sports. How do you avoid erroneous flagging of hedging/coordination if you two trade from the same location and have different views of where the market is headed? Yeah, no issues so far. I mean, we have all of our own separate stuff, so I haven't had any issues. Can you explain the second orb break? So let's go back to today's New York session. I don't think there was a second orb break. Actually, let me go over to my handy dandy journal, I guess you could say. So this is an example of my back testing that I've done. So I have a back testing chart where I charted all of the trades for my back testing. These are active trades. So these are all from this year, 2026 stats, everything accumulated, and all of July stats. So I do by the month as well. Based on the pattern that I was able to pick up from back testing, I was able to recognize, hey, and we got Amos back. There he is, that Canadian Wi-Fi, bro, just hurting. But I was able to pick up on back testing through back testing that the second orb break often had follow through, which is represented by these percentages here. So that's where the second orb break philosophy came in. But welcome back, brother. Welcome back.
I think I'm still lagging.
Oh, is he still lagging? Yep. All right, I'll keep it going. I saw somebody say, do you have a strict gym routine? Yeah, 100%. So I go to the gym every morning before the market opens. So yeah, I wake up around 4 o'clock at the gym, get my workout in. Oftentimes my workouts are like recycled football workouts mixed with insight from like ChatGPT or Claude. And it's just a good way to get the mind right before I hit the charts.
I think I'm good now.
Oh, he's back. We're good.
All right.
There he is.
Damn.
We got it.
That was the craziest leg ever.
It's all good. We held it down for you, bro. We held it down for you.
Let's go. All right. I definitely want to short this, man. I definitely want to short this.
Yeah, ain't it? Did you want me to pull up the experiment thing? Asia Sesh experiment?
Wait, so what are we doing exactly? Are we doing the first 15 of 7 p.m. or 8 p.m.?
So after Monday, it sounded like we were gonna stick with the 8 p.m. Tokyo Sesh. Yeah. So what I've been doing, and I'll show you the stats here. Let me zoom in a little bit. So these top ones with the stars are real trades that were actually taken. So actually, let me give, for anybody that didn't remember, let me give a little bit of context here. So Amos and I are working to kind of go through and explore various different types of strategies, mostly for my insight and for yours, in order to find a winning strategy for the Asia session. So high level general rules: 100 trade minimum per strategy. It'll take 2-week evaluation to get through those 100 trades, and then Monday and Wednesday, which are the days that I'll be on the stream, we'll kind of do a progress check-in, and then we'll grade each of those from 1 to 5. So here's the general rubric: mechanical clarity, win rate, profitability, and consistency. are all averaged for an out of 5 grade. So this trade here was from when I was on stream on Monday, and we caught the L and scared everybody with the orc filled alert on the laptop. That was an L. The Tuesday trade, same sort of thing. I took an orb break and it was a win. So what I've been doing on those orb trades, and I'll show you on the charts, is just 1-to-1 risk reward. Once we break above orb, profit target is 10 points, risking 10 points, just to simplify the experiment, taking my own, taking me out as a variable. And then I did a bunch of back testing for random days throughout this year. And so far, we are exactly 7-7 for wins and losses. So right now, it's a 50% win rate. And then Amos, I just took screenshots of each of the trades here. Don't know what happened on these ones, but just for our reference, if we ever wanted to take a look at them.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we'll see what happens this session. Be charting it, and then by next week, I'll have 50 or more back tests and trades.
Yes. Right now, currently, like, I am eyeing some shorts. I would say the shorts around 675. I did want to see how we would close from that gap, and currently I would want to see how we open on this new bar. If we open up higher, wick fill, hold that wick fill, and then starts going down around, I would say, the 590s, it will be a potential good short back towards that daily unfill gap. So that's what I'm looking for.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah. Terrence, I think I hear, like, I think I hear a little bit of my voice in the back.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Let me see. How's that?
Wait, I gotta speak. Yeah, I hear it still.
Maybe I can put on headphones. Is this different than yesterday's?
Yeah, I think I hear myself like a little bit more. I hear myself like it's a radio.
Oh, weird. That sounds super annoying. Okay, hold on one sec. Let me try. Test. Is this any better?
Let me talk. Yeah, now I don't hear myself. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right.
Sorry about that.
Perfect. Yeah, no worries. So yeah, let me take a look at the chat here. What did you do when I was not in?
We were just kicking it, bro. We were talking about orb. So
Yeah.
I gave a brief definition of orb, high level definition of what orb is and why it works, in my opinion. Just super general, high level. I'm happy to run through that again if you have any extra insight. Maybe that could be helpful.
Yeah. So just before I got I got out because of my Wi-Fi, I really wanted to ask you, like, the reason for your short. So, like, let's go back here. Hopefully I don't lag again doing the explanation. But so here it didn't break, and then it closed back within the range. Okay, so at that point we already swept the orb high, but you're looking for a break. So
I trade exclusively EF. Is this NQ?
Oh yeah, that's NQ. Oh, okay, that's why. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so then, okay, so that is very different. Okay.
Right?
This was the high. This was the low. Okay, so we wicked the high. No, we didn't wick the high. We went for the low first. Immediately.
Big time.
We rejected back within the range. Why wouldn't you take a long right there?
So
you need that bearish closure and then that bullish closure after.
And the reason for that, So there's a lot of successful orb traders that trade orb rejections. I
Mhm.
don't. I don't trade the rejections because it doesn't. I wasn't able to think of to come up with a why. Like, I think I've mentioned along like my first stream here, I'm obsessed with why. Why does this happen?
Mhm.
Why does this work? And if I can't make sense of it in my mind, it's hard for it to stick or be adopted on my end. So what I recognize the orb range as is when the market, first opens, buyers and sellers are factoring in, earnings or the overnight session or news or whatever you want, and trying to find a fair value. So
Mhm.
the opening range represents that initial battle, in my opinion. So once there's a break outside of that range, um, then my expectation is that um, institutions and market participants are going to carry through, and that's enough of a justification for them to submit their orders to sell or to buy, and for the market to carry through. So because of that, I'm not comfortable with a rejection because it still seems like they're kind of battling inside of that range, and it could go either way in my eyes. That
Okay.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for me, the 5 minute candle closure is enough confirmation for me, in support of other levels of support and resistance to initiate a trade.
Yeah, I like that. So I saw a stat not too long ago, but of course it does make sense. But talking about the highs and lows and the timing that they were being formed. So basically, the stat behind it was when the low of the orb gets formed first. Okay, there is like an 81% chance that the orb high will get taken out. Of course, it makes sense because that candle will, if the low was formed first, then it was an open low, high, close, and then it will wick out the high. So basically what it says is that, okay, let's say 930 opens up here, and then if the low of the orb gets formed first, and then we reflip back up, and then we close here, there's an 80% chance of us wicking out the high.
Hmm.
Okay, pretty much, because the fact that we formed the low, plus overall the market is bullish. So um, it definitely makes sense to have a lot of opening ranges that are bullish and have bullish candle closures. So the thing that I was asking myself is there really a way of predicting, looking at the chart, if like the likelihood of us having like a protected low here to then see that distribution coming in and then the close and then see the push up,
Hmm.
which is very hard to do. But on, like, I'll show you like a scenario that I saw. Let's say today. Okay, show you the example. So let's go back at like 9:30 when we opened. So we opened up at 9:30, and this is the new 15-minute bar right here. A new 15-minute bar opens. Okay, 9:30 opens up, and you don't really know exactly when the low is going to be formed, but this is really what you're trying to look for. So then you see here we go down and we break structure to the downside, and then here we form a gap, bearish gap. Okay, and we're seeing so many of those opportunities where we form a gap within the first, I would say, the first 5 to 10 minutes. That gap gets inversed and the candle fully flips from being bearish to bullish. But I think there is a way to gauge, looking at the opening price right here, what has more chances of happening depending on how that 5-minute candle will close. Let's say if we have a 5-minute, the second 5-minute candle closing above the opening price of that bar, then you would expect us to be in a scenario where you form the low of that orb first and then potentially see some upside. Let's see, like here, you push up. Now that 5-minute candle just closed. Okay, closed bullish. It didn't close bullish, but you see how that aggression. So then here you would expect that low to be protected. So then jumping in longs, stop loss below that inversion, and take profit right here. Let's try that. Let's see how far it went. That's really what I want to see. Pushed up. Okay. So you see, that's really what I'm trying to gauge, or like try to understand. If we can look at the opening price and be like, okay, are we in a scenario where we already formed the protected low of that orb, knowing that there's a lot of chances of us sweeping the high. You see here, like what's gonna happen? We're gonna form the high and then we're gonna open up and sweep it. You see, but that your job is to be in the battle here, knowing that it has a very high chance of sweeping its own high. But how far is it gonna go? And when is it the right moment to look for that low to be formed? Plus, what are my confirmations? Is it on 5? Is it on the 1? That's really what I'm starting to understand a little bit more about that orb strategy. And of course, it does make sense that if the orb low gets formed first, then there's an 81% chance of us sweeping the high of that orb. Why? Because that candle will close bullish, you know? So then you need to take a decision, and then you really understand, okay, like there's a battle happening there to know if that candle will close bullish or bearish. So like it gets deeper, but I like that challenge. I'm trying to dig a little bit deeper into that because the size of those opening ranges are so different day to day. Sometimes they distribute a lot. Sometimes they are stuck. And yes, that low is really the protected low, but you entered so high that you don't have anything to eat. So, you know, there's a lot of variables that go into that. And I think like pretty much, you know, where I was always talking about book map, order flow, maybe that's pretty much something that you'd have an advantage looking at order flow. That's the only thing I'm thinking of because of how aggressive that first 15-minute bar is and how many orders are getting thrown at the same moment.
That only, I mean, this is super interesting. It's piqued my interest for sure, especially when you had mentioned 81%. Is that only true when that 15-minute candle is aggressive? Like if it's a small candle and you've still established that low, is there still a high likelihood that it's going to continue to break the highs? And
I don't know. You see, like I don't necessarily have all the data. There's you see, the other stat is if we form the high first, then there's a 64% chance or 65% chance of us breaking the low. Meaning that when like you're only looking for scenarios, you should only look for scenarios that we're forming the orb low really, and try to look for protected lows from the orb low first. Let's say I'll show you an example, but there was so many opportunities that happened. Let's say here, we're seeing very aggressive opens, of course, but you see within that bar, okay, we went very aggressive to the upside, and at that moment, you're like, look at how far you are, 188 handles above the opening price. Like the likelihood of this low not being the protected low of the next 15 is so damn like, you know what I mean? You're so far. You push so aggressively on that initial 5-minute bar that not thinking that this low is protected is kind of insanity for me, you know? So then you, in my opinion, then going down to the 5, you'd probably want to locate yourself below that 5-minute candle's opening price, digging into, you know, forming its own downwick, and then predicting that we're gonna generate new highs and that low is being protected. But like it's so hard for me to see like, okay, what is an entry that is mechanical but will not put me in a situation of I'm in such a terrible risk reward scenario. We see here like it pushes very aggressively, and then right there we're creating new highs again and again, and then you see like right now we are in a scenario where this low is formed first, and we know that this low is protected, and there's an 81% chance of us wiping out that high. So then when it closes, goes wipe out that high, you see, and then you're out. But it's hard to know where you're gonna enter though. You know how I think the really where you have to take a lot of you need to look at confirmations would be the second 5-minute candle, how it closes.
Mm.
Or, you know, maybe bookmap would help you on that to see like, oh shit, you got to watch out here. It might bounce.
Man, yeah, I mean, bookmaps, specifically on book maps, it seems like such a valuable tool because from what I've heard, especially with Miriam going through and working on putting together a course for it and whatnot, um, it seems like what so many institutional traders use. Like it feels like such real trading. You can
Mhm.
actually see different levels and whatnot. So it sounds like a tool that you've been. I mean, you've mentioned it a couple of times. It sounds like you're considering adding it to the utility belt, I guess you could say, for your
Yeah,
strategy.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think, I think like the thing is really what I saw also when I was, because I was trading with Sierra charts back in 2023, and I was using the footprint chart, and you know I was looking at all the order flow back then, but switched to candlesticks only.
Mm,
But back in the day, I did not see any value in, like, you know, the footprint and absorptions and all those tools after a certain time. After like 10:30, it became pretty much useless.
mm,
um so like I could see that tool being very, very good in the openings of those sessions, because those orders truly mean something. When if you're deeper within the day, there could just be, you know, um spoof orders really.
mm. That makes sense. I mean, I feel the same way about orb for I think the same reasons. It might be like a volume thing or something, but once the morning's the earlier part of the morning session has concluded, orb is basically negligible to me. I don't pay attention to it really at all. But
But
yeah.
definitely something to that spiked my interest also within the last few weeks. I would say we'll look a little bit more into that. Uh, of course, it's like it's always the best thing to tell yourself, oh, I'm gonna be done in 15 minutes within the
Yeah.
day, you know. But there's definitely way more that goes into that, and you
Mm,
know, some market conditions are going to be so good for a certain strategy that you see those things happening back to back. But as soon as harder market conditions are going to happen, you know, you're not going to see it as it's not going to be as free to catch those 10-20 point moves.
mm.
Even on the orb, you know, it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of adversity, deeper pullbacks, and that candle will flip 5 times before you can actually do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I keep
Yeah,
that
for
in mind too. It's not, nothing is sweet.
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a big reason why I track the stats on my end so closely is because if I need to adapt to the ever adapting market, I need to actually see what's going on and whatnot. But something I wanted to ask you real quick, Amos,
Hmm.
is to be honest, it seems like you've built a strategy that you're really comfortable with and
Hmm.
that you see a lot of success with. So why explore other strategies or other tools to add to it? You know what I mean?
I'm not, let me tell you one thing. I will for sure 100% not trade it. It's just purely for, because it spikes my interest,
Ah,
really.
okay.
But at the stage that I am not changing anything to the way that I trade, or because I know how much data I have, and for me to gather that same amount of data, it would take me at least a year. And also, like, I don't necessarily have the same chance of being as free
Mm,
in terms of, and also like thinking about it, 24/7, about, oh, maybe I can add this rule, maybe I can throw out a fib level, maybe I can do this. It's like the work to build an edge for me is was so hard in the first place. And also it works for me, so I'm not changing anything. But it just spikes my interest to see, like, okay, maybe this happens, maybe that happens. I just like to challenge myself overall. But in terms of
mm,
like, would I trade it, or would I do anything about it? Hell no. I will not. Especially, it's like, let me tell you the really where I stand. It's like I can already catch a trade within that first 15-minute bar using one of my strategies. the thing that I'm trying to see there is there a way for me to be involved in this trade, putting my stop loss to break even and be in for a monster trade? Because I am in a situation where I know I'm going to get put into a live account with Tradeify after this payout or maybe the next one. I know like that live account path is really like very close to me. I've been there also on the live account. I did I made 14K out of it, then had not a lot of drawdown left, so the account was blown. But I would say like the overall experience that I had with this live account, it taught me a lot about the importance of building a buffer, because I was not able to keep that live account because of that. I did not keep that live account because I was not able to build a buffer. I was just taking out daily payouts back to back until I had almost no buffer. So then going into this next one, probably within the next few weeks, hopefully, I wanna do something a little bit different in terms of, okay, can I locate myself in the exact same area? And instead of just grabbing that $1,000, put my stop loss to break even. And even if I take 2-3 hits, I lose 2-3 times before it actually starts, like goes in my way and hits. I want to know the statistic of me putting my stop loss to break even and letting it run until 10:25 or 10:30, or I would say like 10:10. And I want to, because I want to be able to build my buffer to then trade freely. Because, from the jump, how I stand, and I also made a tweet about it today, everything that I've done in this space was based on me trying to become the best trader, but prop firm trader, because I knew this was where the money was at. Basically, I did not have more than $2,000 or $1,500 per month to invest into those accounts when I started. So this was the only path for me. So every strategy that I have, every approach that I have is based on not necessarily the market, but is based on the rules of the rules of the prop, So then I need to find a way where it's going to be slightly easier for me mentally to manage those live accounts and maximize my profits, you see. So like that's really where I'm at with that 945 candle, that orb. Because I know this is where the market moves, and if you can catch a big trade there, it can run for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's interesting, man. So you're now...
That was a great question, though. That was a great question.
So now that you've experienced a live account, if I'm understanding this correctly, your goal has shifted away from prop firm, and now it's let's grow the live account. Let's optimize.
Yeah. So I came into like some hardships with the previous live account, which is I took like a 4-trade losing streak immediately from the jump. So then like I was basically battling the fact that I was in drawdown when I preach low risk reward. I preach it with my life, base hits, consistency, slow and steady returns. But with a live account, it's different. The psychology behind it is different than with a prop firm account. Okay, because I'm not necessarily trying to I'm not playing off of the metrics where I don't want to blow that account, and I don't want to. I have such a low risk reward that it will be impossible for me to blow it with that risk setting, because there's no way for me to take a 6-trade losing streak because I have a negative risk reward. It's I'm playing off of those metrics, but then when you're alive, you're more playing off of, okay, the market. I could play off of, I would say, the asymmetry of my trades, of the results of a certain trade, really, where instead of going for a 1-to-1, I'll just put my stop loss to break even, and there's no consistency rule that will hold me back to take that 1-to-3, 1-to-4, 1-to-5,
Okay.
And I'm not battling such a tight drawdown. I'll have like maybe 20K of drawdown, So like that's really like there's different things to optimize depending on where you are. And I think right now I need to look at uh, look at some things that will make my life a little bit easier when I have this live account, you know, going for 1, 2 bigger trades. And then when that buffer is built, then I can potentially have access to the bonus and just trade normally, you know. But before that, I don't have access to the bonus anyway. You see, like the bonus, you can only have access to that when you're past the buffer. But how long is it going to take me to build the buffer to have access to that bonus if I trade with my 0.8 1-to-1 risk to reward strategy? It's going to take me a while, you know.
And also, how do you set the actual dollar amount for you to have a comfortable buffer?
Like let's say I'm put into a live account with $4,500 on 5 accounts, then you need to make 4,500 more. So have an account balance of 9K per accounts, so 45K total, to then have access to the bonus program.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I don't know if you know the bonus program, but it's probably one of the craziest thing in the whole space. But basically, let's say let's say I have 5 accounts. Okay, I'm probably gonna get put into 5 live accounts of $4,500 each. It's pretty much gonna be the case. Okay, there's gonna be 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The rule states that if you make $4,500 in a month with 1 account, okay, so now you're past $9,000, you're past the buffer. You have access to, basically Tradeify will match up the amount of money that you made for a maximum of $4,500 per account as a bonus. So if you make $4,500, okay, on 5 accounts, and you're now at 9K, you didn't just make 22,500. You just made $45,000.
Wow.
Because Tradeify is going to wire you $22,500 as a bonus because you made 4.5K per account.
Wow.
So then, knowing that I have access to that, I need to I need to optimize what I have in order to reach that, you know, which I was unable to do on the first try, you know, this is life-changing money, you know. Like if you have access to rules like this in a live account, like I can't let that slide. I need to lock in and be like, okay, I have the strategy. When is it going? When is it running? You know, usually I don't look at that, but now it really spiked my interest of, okay, what is the best time for me to put my stop loss to break even with the exact same framework, having the same exact idea behind the trade, but then it has a pretty good chance that maybe 3 times, 4 times in a month, you know. I'm not talking like, it is unrealistic to think that it will happen at least once a week or like at least 2-3 times a week. It will not. But I know that maybe 2 to 3 times in a month it will run for that amount. Then I'll take the bet and try to build my buffer on that with tight risk, you know. And then once I'm past that, all right, now I can trade exactly like I want.
Yeah, nice. Okay, I like it. I also know I've been trying to explore this. I think it's TradeC. I can't remember which platform it is that lets you trail your stop loss. So you can
never tried it.
Yeah.
I never tried it.
I've considered exploring that. Like that sounds appealing, especially with my 10-point rule. Like once you get past 10 points and then just trail the stop loss from 10 points wherever price is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have this setting?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think it's TradeC.
Imagine if you have it on a hotkey, like you just click like, I don't know, B, and then it has to be quite far from your keyboard though, so you don't fat finger it.
For sure. But bro, I bet there is. I bet there is something like that. So it's worth exploring because I mean, especially, you know, this week I would say and last week I've missed out on some major moves because of my 15-point rule. So 15-point target rule. So yeah, worth exploring. I'm excited to see how this develops for you, especially once you go back to live.
Yeah, I am excited for that because I am, you know, I had my first initial, I would say, experience with it, and now I know the mistakes that I made, and now I know how to access the bonus. I know what I'm gonna do, you know. So it's a question of of patience, taking some hits that will put me in a, let's say, like, it will definitely be a little bit more uncomfortable to take 3 trades and being stopped to break even on 3 back-to-back trades where you could have made 1,000 on each, you know. But that's the bet I'm willing to make, really.
Yeah, especially, nothing to lose, risk free. That's the
Yeah.
best feeling. It's another reason why I do it at 10 points, because it just feels, you feel so much less stress. Worst thing
Yeah.
that could happen is you break even. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Chat, you guys are, Amos, another thing I was saying when you were out with the Wi-Fi issues was that how dope this chat is. The Asia session is
Yeah.
the best chat.
Bro, they are crazy.
I wanted to catch it.
Did we set the like goal so far?
Oh no, we
Wait,
didn't.
214 likes. Okay, first like goal, chat, is gonna be 300. Yeah, 300. We're giving away a 150K select account. So first like goal, 300. Smash that like button, guys. Come on.
Let's go, chat. I love it.
Okay, so I'll ask you this question now. What is your current goal with this? Like, what do you see yourself in 3 months?
So I have 2 sets of goals. I have arbitrary goals that are kind of like don't have a clear definition. It's just this is the goal, and then I have, again, like more structured mechanical goals, I guess you could say. So my high level kind of arbitrary goal, I guess you could say, is to stick to my plan, be as disciplined as possible, and become the best trader I could possibly be. That's the high level goal. In the next 3 months, my goal is to have more payouts than refreshed accounts. Okay. That's like the quantifiable goal. So it's not so much a number where make X amount of money. It's just that the result of that goal is the result of consistent discipline and sticking to my plan, and then execution in the trading. So that was a long-winded way of answering your question, but I hope that made sense.
Yeah, definitely. And are you, like, I know you keep track of everything, in terms of like how much, what's your win rate, how much it double breaks, how much, you know everything about the orb. But have you tried to look at other things like, maybe NQ's orb, or maybe like you're with your data currently, you're seeing different things that you can try to gather more data in. Is there other things that spike your interest in terms of like technicals and things that you think about but you did not get into, I would say?
Dude, 100%. Yes. So I want to know this stuff inside and out. This is kind of a blessing and a curse, because I can start to try to take in too much information, and it can cause confusion. We're getting a little bit of a dump here.
Wow.
Is this the short you were looking for?
Yeah, I'm looking for that short still. Don't worry, we're gonna grab a piece of the pie here.
I like it. But in terms of learning other stuff, yeah. So I'm constantly reading trading books or watching YouTube videos or just backtesting other random stuff, just in order to have a more thorough understanding of the charts at a high level. But I'm very reluctant to adopt any other sort of strategy or things that can cause more noise in my pattern. Because when I first started trading, that's what I was doing. I would try this and that, and it was just causing all sorts of confusion. So the short answer to your question is I'm constantly trying to learn more information. I'm trying to be a student of the game, similar to you, it sounds like, but not necessarily taking on new strategies aside from different sessions. So like right now, Asia session, we're going through this little experiment. I'm happy to kind of try whatever, but in terms of my New York session, I feel confident in that structure.
Yes. And are you, like, just a question overall, because for me, this is I have one clear answer to the question I'm going to ask you, But do you still consume any sort of trading content, or have you consumed any trading content at all in your life?
Have I like watched trading content?
Like, yeah, like let's say you watch like a lot of videos from a certain person.
Oh, so not necessarily a specific person. I mean, when I first started, I was watching everything. I was literally just Googling day trading futures and then would just go through a bunch of different videos. The thing is, so many of them started to get kind of salesy. Like it felt like somebody was always trying to sell me something, or it just felt like it was falling into like the Furu uh,
Okay.
steam. So that was the hard part, was really filtering, being able to filter through that and having enough insight and background to filter through that. But the people that are the most honest about their wins and their losses are the ones that I resonate with, just because it doesn't feel like, it feels more sincere. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no specific person that I can say like, oh, this is, I watch all their content, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Mark Douglas is somebody who I really like his works. The author, I think he's passed away now, but just legendary in the markets in terms of the charts and whatnot. I really like his books. A lot of people know the most famous one, Trading in the Zone, I think is Mark Douglas. Um, but that's a, if I had to pick somebody, I'd probably say Mark Douglas.
I saw I saw a video early on today, and it was like I was amazed with the way that the person explained that concept. But he was like, feed someone for 90 days, or like feed someone for 100 days, stop on the 101st, and he will hate you.
Yeah, yeah.
And um, starve someone to death for 100 days and feed him on the 101st, and he will love you. And they were basically explaining that the reason why someone is so emotional, or emotions like take the best out of a person, is usually because of the distance between the reality and the expectations of someone.
Mm.
And the bigger that gap, the more the bigger the reaction, and the more emotions will be involved into that situation. And I was like, that is so true, especially in trading, where we have, let's say, a month in front of us, and we are respecting our rules every single day, and we get close to that payout. And then we start thinking about what we're going to do with that money, because we only have 2 to 3 days left before requesting that payout. And now we're building up what we call the expectations. And then when that expectation is not met, it's exactly like you got fed for 100 days, and now you're absolutely mad, you know. So
Mm.
that when that person explained that, I was like, that is an amazing concept to speak about trading related also.
Man, for sure. Like, chat, I truly believe this. If you want to have a joyful life in general, minimize your expectations in general. I think there's a difference between expectations and standards. You know, standards you can set for yourself as kind of hard lines, non-negotiables. Expectations, in the exact metaphor that Amos just described, oftentimes lead to um, inevitable disappointment, to be honest. Like that person who's being fed, that despite this kindness for 100 days or 100 meals, that 101st, all of the kindness was wiped away with one movement, right? I think, man, who was it? I'm going to butcher this quote. There's another Stoic who said a similar quote. I think it was Marcus Aurelius, something about minimizing expectations. But yeah, Amos, I really like that. I really like that too. Good one.
Yeah, it was definitely when I saw it, I was like, damn, that hits hard.
Man, yeah. I wanted to sorry chat, I haven't forgotten about you. I wanted to catch up a little bit on this. Right, did you live on Discord for the future Tradeify platform? Yes, sir, Amos. You see anything that I missed here? Austin Terrence took a short and hit my 1 to 2, getting off before I do dumb things. That's good. Lock out, Kevin. Nice dub.
Yeah, congrats. Definitely gonna look for shorts here. I would want us to see that day low being taken out right when 8 p.m. hits. That's really what I'm thinking about. Let's see what you can do about this trade right here. But I'm gonna stay patient. I think, you know, how this hourly candle is currently fluctuating is what we took over the previous bars. I would say fib levels. Let's say if I pull out that fib, we're already below 70% of that previous candle, which tells me that the likelihood of us reaching that high is way lower than us reaching that low. So then, even if that candle is fluctuating currently, looking for shorts is far more valuable in terms of a scalp than taking a look at those longs for my framework, especially with the way that I frame my daily bias and the fact that we have a gap below us that is attracting price. So I'm looking to see if we're gonna stay strong below that 80 level. If we can, I'm definitely gonna grab a short back towards 63 and potentially even 32 right at the 8 p.m. open. So definitely looking for that.
Okay, nice. I like it. And you're anticipating that you're going to be patient until the 8 o'clock open, Tokyo
Yeah,
open.
100%. I am. I took a win yesterday also, so that puts me at 19-6.
Let's go. Where's the
Yesterday's win was like the retracement at 8 p.m. that we've seen are the same, like back to like 61.8 of the previous range. I think in the last 5 days or 5 or 6 sessions, it was the same exact deep retracement that we saw, which I survived a lot of because I DCA, which is one of the main thing that I do with my strat. But yeah.
Oh, I don't know why that's news to me. I feel like I should have known that. I didn't know that you DCA'd.
Wait, so depending on what kind of plays I'm taking, sometimes not on every trade I would DCA, but I would say I DCA a lot when I want to get involved but not with full risk, and then knowing that it could spike immediately and getting involved even more if I get let's say a discounted price for a long or a premium price for a short. I would say that's pretty much something that I do way more in live when I'm trading live than when I'm trading alone, because when I'm trading alone, I'm not necessarily trying to be as aggressive, and it's really boring trading, I would say, where I'm like taking one trade in 5 hours. You know.
So you only DCA when you're in drawdown, or do you also?
So like okay. So usually, yeah, I won't add to a winner. I will only add to a loser, knowing that I'm expecting that structure to hold and generate either a new high or a new low in the market. Gotcha. DCA means dollar cost averaging, which, let's say, usually the type of setups that I'm going to be in will look like this, okay? And I will try to short back to, let's say, this internal low. But knowing that there's a big likelihood of this internal low being taken out, I don't necessarily want to wait for us to get all the way here before entering, because this would be the perfect entry, best entry possible. So what I like to do is enter half size here, and then the deeper we retrace, the more I get involved, because I just have a more and more discounted price, or here in this case, a premium price. And usually I have a very good way of anticipating the next candle closure. So if my stop loss is wide and covers most of that range, then I know I'm going to get the flush, maybe take out some profits right here, and then let the rest run. Usually that's how I do it.
Have you seen Nick's DCA strat in New York session or London?
I saw some clips, and I saw also some people discussing about it on my sessions. I know he has no stop loss, so I know he has no stop loss, and also,
Wild.
yeah, he buys low, sells high, which I do the opposite.
Yep. Yep. So, chat, if you haven't seen Swissnick's DCA strategy in the New York session and the London session, what he'll do is he'll enter. So 90, I think it's like 95% or something like that of his trades are entering long. So
Yeah.
he'll enter long on 1 micro, and just every time the market goes down, he'll add up. I don't know where he gets his levels or how he determines when to size up or whatnot. But he has no stop loss and just goes, so he either blows the account or makes X amount
No
in
way.
profits. Bro, yeah,
No way.
it's a very
Okay, that's his strat.
that's what he's experimenting with right now. And
Wait. So he either blows the account or passes the account.
yes, bro. He either blows the account. I don't know if he tries to pass it. I think he tries to make like, 600, $700 or something like that. So he said that his win rate is super high because he'll trade a 150K account and just do micros. 1 micro, 1 micro size up, 1 micro size up, 1 micro size up. So his average entry continues to go down, and then there's a higher likelihood, since the market always goes up, that he's going to get his profit target. It's a really interesting strategy, bro.
I remember him talking. He was explaining his strategy to me, but I would not be able to trade that way. That's for sure. Impossible.
Man,
I think
yeah.
it's too draining mentally.
Right, yeah.
It
Man,
is. It is really.
we got Joey Morgan in the chat. What up,
What's up,
Joey?
Joey? How are you doing?
That's dope, bro. Nick does.
We gotta get him on while we're here. We gotta make like a trio one day.
That would be dope. Yeah, for sure.
It'd be sick for sure.
Especially since he's I think he had said on stream he's kind of renovating his garage to be a new office.
So, yeah, I think he already did it. Because
okay.
I saw how clean his background was, so I think he already
Yeah, we see yours coming up too. I don't remember that plant. I don't think, like, way back when you got a light and everything. Like,
yeah, now it's a little bit different. Now I'm in my own little room. I've had this room for a while now, but like I set it up in a way where there's a small little couch here, you can see, and some lights behind the plant, and I close the lights, and I have like a light in front of me that just goes into my face, so you guys can see me well. So like I think it's overall, I think it's just a super simple background, but the lighting makes up for it.
Simple cells, bro. Simple cells.
Yeah, cool vibes.
I just had Miriam help me out with these lights. I got a couple lights in here, stepping the game up a little bit.
Oh shit! Okay, that's cool.
I just get Miriam's streaming hand-me-downs. She hooked me up with a camera that is not going to overheat and shut off in the middle of the stream now. She gave me a couple of these lights and whatnot. I'm using her like big dome light here shining on me. This is her mic. It's all like Miriam hand-me-downs.
That's cool.
Shout out to you, Curly Trader.
Shout out Miriam. Is she here in the chat supporting my boy Terrence?
Yeah, where you at?
Where are you at, Miriam?
Where you at, Medium?
Medium.
He hates it when I call her that. I know she's in the office right next door. But man, I was gonna say, so in terms of the strategy that we're experimenting with right now, which is the orb strat for the Tokyo session, a lot of levels kind of supporting the trade right now. If you wouldn't mind jumping over to my screen, production. So over here, looking at ES, which is what the experiment is based around, we have VWAP, EMA, and point of control, volume based for session, all almost intersecting. So depending on where this candle, or I'm sorry, where we end up at the open of Tokyo session, which is in what, 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
If we can break below, what is this, today's low, and close bearish on the orb range, I really like setting a stop loss above these levels and having those as protection for a short. But we'll see. We'll see how the experimental strat comes in. Oh, there's Curly Trader, physically and trade wise. What? I'm short as fuck, she said. Physically and trade wise. Yes, she is. Curly Trader is trading the initial balance right now. You mean the 1 hour orb? Is that what it is, Joe? No, I'm just kidding. 654 is her entry. Oh, she's in a short right now? 654.
I think she is, yeah. She is in a short.
Oh, I think she's in a long.
A long?
654? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was looking at 554. Dang, 654. Okay.
Yeah, physically entry wise.
Oh, we gotta practice our French, bro. Just a quick session. So, let me just say a quick French sentence, and then please correct it for me, because I'm just gonna spit this from the dome.
Let's do it.
J'ai besoin de pratiquer en français parce que je voyage à Paris en octobre.
Damn.
C'est d'accord? Aussi comme ça?
C'est très bon, c'est très bon. It's not c'est d'accord, it's c'est bon.
Oh.
C'est bon or c'est bien.
Okay. C'est bon? C'est bien?
Yeah, that was perfect. Damn. I'm impressed.
C'est vrai? Oh, can I say c'est vrai? C'est vrai?
C'est vrai? That means, is that true? C'est vrai?
Yeah. Okay, cool. See, what else?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're actually very good, bro.
Myriam et moi voyage à Paris. Je suis très excitement.
Je suis... What do you say? Excité?
Myriam et moi voyage à Paris. Je suis très excitement.
Je suis très excité.
Excité.
Okay. You're really excited to go there.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, exactly. Je suis très excité.
Je suis très excité.
Yeah. If someone just joins this without having the context, it's gonna be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Oh, yeah. Just, yeah. All right. Each session, I'm gonna try a little bit. We can maybe do a sentence or something. You can coach me up.
Yeah, that's you're very decent. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, you're pretty good. I'm very surprised because there's words that are not necessarily easy in French, especially going from an English accent. I think it's easier to have a good English accent coming from French, and then the other way around. Basically, it's hard to have a good French accent if you spoke English at first. Like yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like I feel like vocabulary. Oftentimes, I'll know a word. It's the conjugation where I get messed up. For example, like excited.
Yeah, or like if it's masculine, feminine, like it is hard. It is not easy to either speak or write.
Chart Dad said, "That's impressive. I only know how to laugh in French." Oh, that's a dad joke. Joke. Je suis d'accord. What's your plan for visiting Asia?
Yeah, I'm planning on taking a fat short. Want to take a short here within this
See.
range.
We're getting a gold spam here. Okay, yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Would want us to retrace back towards 87. If we can retrace back towards 87, I'm gonna slam some shorts.
Okay.
Back down towards the daily low.
Don't worry, I got it.
I think we got it here.
Thanks, Dave, for jumping in. Thanks, Miriam, for saving the day. Okay. So you have a limit. All of your trades are pretty much exclusively limit orders, right?
Exclusively limit orders. I always enter on an uptick of a candle that I think will come down after.
Yeah, maybe you can't even.
How many likes do we have? 325. Okay, so the first light goal is reached. Now let's reach 430. 430 is the second light goal. So
Like it.
we can show my chart now, Tony. I'm gonna take a short at 587 potentially, or even maybe even more aggressive than this. But I gotta be careful because those openings are so damn aggressive nowadays.
Yes, what do we got?
Gotta be careful.
So 4 minutes till the open.
Yeah,
Like it. All right.
I take a stab on that trade right here.
Yeah, I like it. Miriam, how are those hand-me-downs? Fire. They're great. I got a whole little setup. Didn't have to buy a thing. Let me see your chat. If Taki decides to be a good girl and crack 560, that would be great. So are you okay? So you're short from all the way from 655. Oh, we're only at 573. Man, I'd be forgetting during the Globex session and Asia session, like the scale, so much less than.
Yeah, exactly. It runs down very like aggressively, but it's like 70 points. Let's see if I can get picked up here within the next 2-3 minutes. I would want us to see a very aggressive bearish open in that case. So we're seeing the pullback here. Let's pray that I get picked up.
Just a reminder, chat on my end. We're going through the find a successful Asia strategy experiment. So currently we're working through. Actually, did we decide what we're gonna do next, Moss? I know right now we're doing.
Yeah, I think we said like the orb. Not the orb. Not sorry. The initial balance.
Initial balance. Ah, okay.
Yeah. That's what we said.
Right on time when Joey's in.
Yeah, exactly.
So IB Tokyo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not Tokyo. The one before that, Globex, I guess.
Globex, got you. Okay. IB for Globex. So chat. Just as a recap, we're going through the Asia session. Find a successful strategy. So general rules are 100 trade minimum. Are you in right now?
No, still waiting to get picked up.
So 100 trade minimum per strategy, 2-week evaluation window. So Mondays and Wednesdays will be progress check-ins. We'll do any trade that I don't take live. I'll just back test to get to 100 trade minimum. And then at the end, we'll give a rating of 1 to 5 for each of the strategies. Someone say IB. Yep. Ears perked up.
I don't know if I'm gonna get picked up on that one. It looked like the same thing yesterday, but I think I did the right play of waiting yesterday. If I didn't wait, I would have been out of that trade for sure.
The limit is 589. Did you say?
587.
587. Okay. Less than 1 minute till the Tokyo opens, chat. We still have a second light goal of, what was it, 450?
No, 420.
Or 20. That's easy. Easy, chat.
All right, come on, let's pick me up there. Gotta get picked up here on the shorts, and then I want to slam the previous daily low here. That short for me, with how that daily candle is looking, I would want us to see the catalyst being 8 p.m. open, driving us back down towards that daily unfilled gap. Plus having that hourly candle being an inside bar. I think we can have a good play here. Let's see if we can get picked up on the open.
Okay, I'm rooting for you, bro. Oh, it's right there. There it is.
Let's see if you can shoot down here. If I see the immediate reaction, I'm gonna. Okay, already break even, chat. Already break even. Just a wider stop at first. Let's see if we can run below that. 8 p.m. needs to run.
Let's go.
Start trailing here. Good. That's amazing. That's amazing, chat. Already locked in 600. I'm trailing here aggressively. 670. It has to push now. All right, we're out.
Let's go. W's in the chat, baby. That was a
go. Come on, boys. That's what I'm talking about. Quick scalp on there.
Is that 20?
That
20?
makes it 20 and 6. Come on, guys.
Let's go.
20 wins, 6 losses within the last 26 trades here on Asia. Let's go. That was beautiful. I still think there is a lot of room to see some downside, especially using that daily candle as being my bias. For me, the 8 p.m. candle has a lot of chances of displacing down and be the catalyst to see the previous daily low. I decided to take out my profits here while that candle was moving, not necessarily willing to give up on $700 of profits, and also getting the immediate reaction. Usually when I get the immediate reaction, I go break even, so risk-free on the trade in like 5 seconds. So I still think if you're in the shorts, it will at least run back towards 521 without pulling back. I would say if it doesn't pull back towards 84, there's a pretty good likelihood of you seeing 21. If it does pull back though, that's gonna be hard to say. I don't know how deep it's gonna retrace after that. Looks like if it goes back all the way to 87, which was exactly my entry, it was literally top tick entry. If it goes back towards 87 right here, then it means I did the right thing of leaving right at the right moment.
And that limit order was placed there. Remind me why
it was at 87.
And you placed it there because why?
So basically, first thing, daily candle. We have the previous daily candle closing bearish, sweeping the high of the previous bar. And what do we have below us? We have an unfilled gap on the daily. So on the daily, usually we tend to see those highs and lows of that previous daily bar when Tokyo opens. Okay, it's depending especially on the strength of that close. If it's closing very strong on a bullish bar, or very weak on a bearish bar, then usually I anticipate the 8 p.m. open to be the catalyst to take out those highs and lows of those higher time frame candles. Then here, I was eyeing this hourly gap, okay, as being my the area where I would want to see price bounce from, but I don't want to just engage here with micros and just keep DCAing until the rest of the night, because we don't know how deep it's going to retrace really. So then I take a look at this bar, and I was like, okay, this bar closed bullish. We still could see some higher prices. I would look for a short if we give up on 70% of that previous candle. If we open, we wick fill, and then we're not able to find buyers within the upper portion here, then it means that this candle will most likely close bearish, and the open is probably gonna drive us down. And here, basically, this is exactly what happened. We drove up, wick filled, and then ended up accepting past 70% of that previous bar, which told me that the likelihood of us reaching the high of that bar before the low of the 6 p.m. were 0, basically. Not necessarily 0, but in that case, very, very slim. So no matter where my entry is, I just need to survive the deep retracement in order for me to see that 6 p.m. low being taken out. So pretty much what I did there.
So you said if it goes past 70%, then there's a very low likelihood of it going retracing.
I'll show you. So like my initial framework is always when a bullish candle closes, I'm expecting the next one to close bullish. Okay, I'm seeing that candle as something that tells me a story for the next one. Okay, let's say this candle closes bullish and breaks structure. Let's say I'm looking at an hourly candle. Then from that closure, one thing I'm never trying to do, because I know it only has 30% chance of happening, is predicting that this will happen. You see this bar? Basically, I reversed engineer a terrible strategy which I was trading before. I was always, basically, when this candle would close, I was always trying to wait for us to sweep that high and then shift below the opening price, and then I would try to take the sell and target this low while this candle was fluctuating. And I saw that this was probably the most horrible strategy ever, with probably something close to a 25 to 30% win rate, because price only has that percentage of chance of creating that full-on perfect reversal candle. Off of that fact, basically, then I found that there's a very big likelihood of us, if we're respecting 50% of that bar, okay, to create a new bullish candle from that portion. Okay, so no matter how we retrace, if we still remain within that 50% of the previous bar, I'm still expecting a buyer to defend its position and then make that candle flip from being bearish to bullish again to then see the close. Okay, so then if you engineer that in the same exact way, when will I be giving up on the buys? And it's when we're being very, very aggressive below that 50%, and we're actually creating my reversal, and I know it's going to close that way. When I have that confirmation, I know that the likelihood of us going back here is way less than us going back here. So now I'll take the short there. You see? So yeah, it's pretty much like it's such a different way of framing things, I know, because most people wait for, let's say, this and that to happen on, let's say, the 1 or 5 minute chart. But for me, I have a way of thinking where I just need to know the overall direction of the next candle, and if I survive through the deep pullbacks and the manipulation within that bar, I'm gonna win my trade. You know, that's pretty much how I think. That's why my stop loss is big, and that's why I trade the way that I do.
And the stop loss you just base off of your take profit, right? And you just go 1 to 1. Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Huge dub, bro.
Let's go. That was a little 36-point move right at the open. That's, you know, we're eating though. We're eating. That's good.
A quick one too. Miriam caught a dub as well. It sounded like.
Let's go, Miriam.
100-point move or something like that. I think she caught. For those that are sticking around, Miriam is going to be a special guest on the game night.
No way.
You guys have a treat in store for you if you go to game night and watching Miriam. I think Tyler's
What games are they going to be playing?
They're playing some like painting game or something like that.
Yeah.
Tyler was talking about it earlier today. Tyler has a whole on wig and everything. Like it's a whole thing.
Okay, that's why Dan had a wig too. I saw the wig. I was like, what the hell is that?
The Bob Ross wig. Chat, that's what my hair used to look like. Amos, imagine me with like a full-on, bro, Corbin
like afro.
But full-on fro.
No way.
Yeah. Next time
How did that fit in the football football thing?
I got that question all the time. Um, I used to just put it back and like have a skull cap over it. It was like extra,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
man, I had for most of my life from like sixth grade. I, oh my gosh, bro, no way. Here. All right, we're good. The Bob Ross flipping, bro. So I guess Miriam got one too. She's gonna be rocking this at game night. But
Yeah,
bro, this is
that one
like
is that one is fire. It's so like it's so high quality too. Like what?
this actually is pretty good, huh? Like
It's actually very good. I'm
yeah,
surprised.
not bad. Okay, I'm gonna put the hat down. No, I look like Tyler. Look like Sideshow Bob. But yeah, bro, I really used to rock like the fro. It was bigger than this. Like it took up the
I used to look like this though back in like high school, or like one day, like one or 2 years after high school.
Really?
Literally the same. Because my hair, the longer they are, the more they curl. So like I had them like in front of, in front of me, and they were curly, and I was literally the same. The same. I was fading the sides, and I just looked like a broccoli, really. It was
See,
a
bro,
default broccoli head.
yes, the default broccoli head. See, I
Yeah.
didn't even have like I wouldn't even clean it up. I would take scissors and I would just cut the front when it got to my eyes, and just so I could see, and then the rest would just flow, bro. It was a mess. I don't know
Damn.
why anybody ever let me actually rock that.
Damn.
Just so everybody sees, everybody knows.
But like how like was it hard to wash?
Bro, it was so hard. Yeah. The hardest
Yeah.
part was like it would nap. So like I would literally get locks in it like from sleeping. Um I had to pick that thing out like crazy every other day.
Okay, so do you know a little bit about like hair types?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, what was your hair type then?
So I mean, my hair wasn't. So I'm mixed. I'm black and
Yeah,
white.
that's why I'm asking, because usually like if you're light skin, you have like a little bit of I would say smoothness at least.
It wasn't quite like I wouldn't call it like nappy, but I've always had super curly hair. I mean, I'm losing it now, chat. To be honest with you, I got a trip to Turkey with Joey and Tyler in my history or in my future. But
Are you actually gonna go?
oh, bro, I'll do it 100%. Yeah,
What's stopping you from doing it now?
just
Is there
convenience.
like a wait list?
No,
Because you're gonna be cooked for like a year.
yeah, bro, you can't like. Yeah, it takes
Like you will
forever.
be like what is it? You're gonna you're gonna be like how is it called? How do you say that? I forgot.
Yeah, it's a mess though. Yeah, it takes like a year to actually grow in. You can't work out for like
Mm,
2 weeks. I like haven't taken the time to like find a good doctor and do all that research and stuff like that.
yeah. Okay.
That's really it. There's no real good reason because it's not that expensive, to be honest.
Just like 3K
Yeah, something like that.
with like including the hotels and stuff. I looked up in if
Why?
one day it happens.
Why? He's
But
already
I have a lot of knowledge also on that, like on like hair loss and stuff. You wouldn't even think of. I was saying
really,
I know all the things, really.
man. You must be having nightmares or something of losing your hair,
No,
bro.
no, it's just something that you need to think about when you're like I think that's one thing someone pointed out online, who was like, have you ever seen like an adult with that hair type not being bald? And I was like, that's so true. Like you're never gonna see someone like with, I would say, I don't know, like Miriam's hair not being bald
It's
as a
true.
man. It's literally impossible. I've never seen that.
It's
It could
actually
happen
true.
for sure, but it's like there's certain hair types for a fact you're cooked. Um, And I don't know if I'm cooked. I don't have a beard yet. If you don't have a beard when you're like, I guess that's cope. I'm coping right now.
Yeah,
Like I would just do the trip to Turkey either way.
I'm telling you, bro. Yep,
It's
it's in
easy.
my future. It's in my future for sure. Brett, yeah, Brett sponsored. Somebody said, just send a bunch of people out, live stream it. I would do it, 100%. Um, but yeah, I like to tell people, or I'll joke that like I used up all my hair when I was young, or like I just grew so much out, I just used it all up, or that Miriam stressed me out too much to the point where I started losing all my hair. Could have been.
I like
No,
that. I like that one. Just blame the wife.
right, exactly. It's one of the perks for sure.
Yeah.
Let's, let's stop. Oh, say mashallah.
Mashallah.
You and Joey could travel together 100%. Yeah, I'm down, Joey. Bring the boat. Said you have hair because of me. Okay. Not missing that one. She does be leaving hair all over the house, though, I will say. Oh, what time is it right now? Okay, so orb is established.
Yeah.
We
I think.
have
Okay, so now you're waiting for a break below exactly the same way that you do it, or you try to predict.
So this strategy for this experiment is a little bit different just because I'm trying to remove a variable. I'm trying to remove me as the variable. So whatever side this candle closes, I'll enter that way. So the candle closure outside of the range is the confirmation, and then it's just a one-to-one trade from there. Again, just to remove variables. So I'll target 10 points and risk 10 points. That seems to be a good amount of cushion on the Asia session, the Tokyo session. So we have 3 minutes left. I do like this, like I was saying, because of those extra levels of resistance with VWAP here. Where's the point of control? Not showing for some reason. Oh, it's over here. That's why. Yeah, so we're below point of control, which again is a function of volume for this session. VWAP, EMA is there as well. We have the session high up here, so entering short here, 759. 10 points would be about here, so it's pretty safe in my opinion. Yesterday when I was trying this trade, I entered it, and then Miriam and I started watching a movie, and I had forgot again that my volume was super high, bro. I don't know why the laptop volume is so high. And then
Order filled.
order filled, the loudest order
filled.
You want to come say hi? Okay. Miriam came in here. She needs her wig back.
I need my wig.
Prepare it.
But yeah, super loud, bro. Was scared the heck out of us. Miriam actually like physically jolted when it hit. Let's see.
They said there's echo. There's a lot of echo right now.
Oh, is there echo?
No, I think it was like on OBS, right? But now it's good. Now it's good.
My bad.
I think
chat.
there was an echo for like it. No, it wasn't you. I don't think it was you.
Oh, okay.
It was, I think, I don't know, maybe just the stream, or else sometimes it does that also on my stream.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So it looks like we are pushing below this orb low level. So we have about 1:30 left. If we get the candle closure below, then I'll do the experimental orb entry with a target.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, 10 points in profit. And then a
I think
stop
you
loss.
got this one, bro. I think like the bias is gonna be for sure bearish for me. And if that 5 closes, I think there's a pretty big likelihood of us actually reaching that daily low without pulling back.
Okay.
I think.
So chat, just for reference here, this is the stats so far for the experimental orb strat that we're using for the Asia session. So literally 50-50. 7 for 14 wins. Whoops. So, whoops, not July 14th. 7 and 7. So 7 losses, 7 wins. Just random dates that I back tested to. So the starred ones are actual real trades that I took. So 1 loss on the Monday stream and then 1 win yesterday. So let's see where. Oh, we got a little bit of pullback. See, now this means no entry yet, at least. So I still would want to wait for this candle closure outside of the range. So no entry yet. How are we looking on the light count? Did we hit that second milestone? Let's see. 412. What do we say? 430? No, 420. Chat. Real crispy. Real crispy. No Terry, the trend lines. No trend lines on my chart, bro. No trend lines. I looked at trend lines when I first got into trading, but again, too much
objectivity.
Yeah, too much objectivity. So I didn't like completely different than somebody else's. It just wasn't sustainable for me. Short at VWAP, I will try it. So
wait, so right now you're waiting for a 5-minute closure above or below. That's really what you're doing?
Yep, you're exactly right.
Sure. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, especially if we can close above VWAP and this orb level, I like it even more. Oops. But if we get the break of orb low and closure, 5-minute closure below, then that's confirmation enough for me that the negotiated fair trade has already been established, and hopefully the people who are involved in the market, I don't know why it just completely escaped me, institutional traders will carry through. At least that's how I evaluate it for the New York session. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. See, I think your orb is kind of lagging slightly. Made money with Amos. Let's see if I can make money with Terrence.
Yeah, I just saw it. I was like, some people just come in and just full board. They don't care.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
I mean, I like it. You know, sometimes it's good to have people. I don't know. If I lose, everyone's going down. If I win, everyone's going up. Like a team.
JCBK, so Terrence, are you doing breakout only or failed breakout too? So I do not trade. I do not trade the failed breakouts, and the reason is because I don't have enough justification, at least for the why, to have a good prediction or estimate as to where price will go after the failed breakout. To me, that just shows that buyers and sellers are still negotiating what the price should be. So I know a lot of people that do have success trading the rejections of orb, but not in my repertoire, not in my belt. Could you explain how you determine the stop loss for the orb? So for me, I trade it primarily during the New York session is where I have my my confident strategy. So oftentimes what I'll do is I'll use other key levels as support and resistance for my trade. So for example, this morning, this was a 725 5-minute candle. So this closed at 730 below orb. Oops. Here, I entered short on that candle closure. I market order in, and then I set my stop loss, I think previous day high, something like that. And then I had VWAP and EMA were also protecting the trade here. So I just set my stop loss above there and then rode this down. And then eventually got stopped out on this wick up. So that's how I set my stop loss, at least for order. So Mas, are you just going to be chilling for the rest of Asia sesh, or are you? Oh, you dipped out. Oh, did I dip out?
See my face. Look at my face. I was like, there's no way. I was literally like this.
Man, you and
Lost me for like
Rebecca,
5 seconds.
bro.
Huh?
You and Rebecca, the Wi-Fi issues are tough.
Bro, I don't know. I mean, for me, it's like weird spikes where I'll lose it for like 5 seconds and it
Mm.
comes back. But I don't know. I'm paying for the highest internet. The internet is literally below the floor. It's like I in this. I have number one, Wi-Fi here where I live. So, you know,
Yeah, yeah, that drives me
I did my
nuts.
job. I did my job at that point.
Yep, yep, I hear you. Miriam and I used to have that same issue in the last spot that we lived in SoCal.
Lagged again.
Dang. Yeah, that would drive me nuts for sure.
But yeah, I think now it's gonna be good. But I was saying, I literally reset my router every 3 days just to make sure this doesn't happen. Because I remember one time I did not reset it for like 2 months,
Hmm.
and I reset it for one time and did not have any lags for like I would say the next 3 weeks. And I always had that problem of like lagging or spiking or losing the Wi-Fi once every I don't know, once every week.
Bro, that's too much. That's way too much. Have you considered
Yeah.
Starlink? Is Starlink any good out there?
I don't know if I don't think we have Starlink here. I don't know. I'm pretty sure we don't. There's like 3 main companies, and I'm using the best one by miles. The
Hmm.
other one doesn't even have how is it called? I don't even
Fiber?
know how to call it. Yeah, fiber. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fiber connection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I did
But
want
I
to.
think wait, so you're gonna be in longs now, no?
So nothing yet. I haven't had the break above either of the orb levels. So still
Oh,
patiently waiting.
you're watching NQ or ES?
Yes.
Ah, okay,
Hmm.
that makes sense. Because right now we just broke on NQ, and now we're ripping down. Oh
Interesting.
my
Yeah.
days, what a fake out!
See, that's something that I've been considering tracking. I haven't done it yet. Is
Yeah,
tracking NQ or breaks.
yeah,
'Cause-
divergence.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
NQ breaks and ES doesn't, what happens
Mhm.
after that? I think that is a super good um, metric to have. But oh my god, it's almost time for us. So let's run the giveaways before we extend the stream so much.
Let's
So
do it.
we're gonna do 2 giveaways, guys. If we're gonna reach 520 likes within the next 3 minutes, then we're gonna do 3. But today we're gonna do 2. 150k select. So the first word will be um, let me know what words you guys think. I always do this. I always use a word that is significant to either what we talked about or the conversation.
I love it. Maybe we should do something regarding hair transplants.
Yeah, number one, afro. Yeah,
Afro, let's go.
afro is a good word.
Spamming Afro in the chat. I love it. Okay, we have a minute 30 left in this 5-minute candle, and we're getting pretty close to orb low. And so I'll be eyeing this candle closure.
I guess at 520 likes, I'm doing another 150k select account giveaway. So make sure to like the stream and also subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying, so we can select the first winner. Congrats, ABAN4. You won a 150k select account. Make sure to have your email in your YouTube description. So then, let me think about the next word. Let me think about a good word.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Trying to think. Hmm.
I have it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
23 seconds left in this candle. We're right about there.
Let me know when it's ready. Next word, français.
Let's go. I almost
That was,
use d'accord, but français.
français.
Très
So
bien.
you really have to control C, control V that word, because that C.
Oh, yeah. Okay, candle closed. 5-minute candle, or the 7:25 candle closed just above orb. So now, still haven't initiated the trade. Still being patient, waiting for the confirmation of the candle closure outside of the range. So let's see.
We can select the winner now. Congrats, Rajesh 404K. Congrats, you won 150K select account. Now we're gonna do one more.
Let's go. Congrats, y'all. Congrats. Yo. Chat, make sure you stay tuned. There is a treat in store for you
Oh my god, okay.
at
Yeah.
game night. Please.
All right, let me know when it's ready. Last word, Starlink. Because I think I lagged for like 45 minutes today, so had to be one word.
Oh my goodness, bro. I might have to tune in for the game night. I haven't seen one yet. Do you usually go? Do you usually tune in?
I played like in 2 or 3 when they played my favorite game. We played Rainbow, so I keep telling them, yeah, we gotta play Rainbow. We gotta play Rainbow.
Okay, okay.
All right,
You use,
let's select the winner now.
What's your
What'd you say?
console?
I play on PC.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm a sweat. Congrats, blessed. You won a 150K select account. So it's already time for us to say goodbye. It was a perfect session for us. We took a win together here on that 8 p.m. bar, making us now within the last 26 trades. I won 20 and lost 6, all live. So W's in the chat for that. We're definitely killing it. We're also going to keep track of the new strategy we're going to play with Terrence, which is the orb and also the IV. So yeah, we're going to be there. I'm going to be there tomorrow. I'm going to be Terrence is not going to be there with me, unfortunately. But guys, stay there for the game night. You're going to see my brothers play a game, and they are I don't know if it's Halloween or something, but they all have some crazy hair back there. But you guys will see. All right, appreciate you guys, and I see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.
Peace out, y'all.